Welcome back everyone, John Panier here with another video. So I was on Twitter and Limbus company just dropped a tweet explaining all the changes that are going to be happening on the March 16th schedule update. We're going to briefly go over them so that way you guys know what to expect. And I'm also pretty excited that there is a little bit of min-maxing available, so make sure you watch the whole video. So the update is going to happen from 10 a.m. through 12 a.m. KST, so this is Korean time, so make sure people in the correct time zone know what's happening. In this section here, all it's saying is that once the update happens, the weekly dungeons and all your progress for your weekly battle pass is going to reset and refresh. That just means that what you want to do is before the patch, finish your dailies and finish your weeklies, because what will happen is on March 16th those will all reset and you'll get all your bonuses for your mirror dungeons. It will get refilled all the way back to 3, because instead of it being 5, double chances, you get 3 now. So just make sure you clear all your dailies, clear all your weeklies, do your mirror dungeons, so that way when March 16 happens and it resets, you get to get the most benefit out of that. So that's what this is explaining. Over here, it's going to be going over that we're going to have a new extraction for Rodion. So it's specifically going to be Rodion for rate up. So you have a better chance of getting her 3-star Kuroto Kuma Henchman Rodion, her 2-star LCCB Manager Rodion, her N-Corp Middle Hammer Rodion, and her 1-star LCB Center Rodion. This is an interesting banner. I will briefly go over it, but I'm just going to say this is most likely going to be a skip for most people, only because we already did the poll for N-Corp Millhammer Rodion with the N-Corp Mersault extraction that's already happening, so this might be a skip. And also 3-star Kurokama Henchman Rodion doesn't really, excite me that much. So this is looking like a skip for me, but you guys can pull for her. I'll post the video up before the banner goes up to see whether you guys want to pull for her, but at the moment, TLDR, not going to pull for her. New content, experience luxivation and thread luxivation. So based off of what I've read here so far, it basically sounds like with experience luxivation, you get the first stage unlocked after clearing 2-12. So it seems like as you progress through the story, there's going to be more stages, and obviously it's going to be harder, and you're going to be using more Ankyphilin for the harder stages, and you can earn bonus rewards up to 3 times per day. So basically you get double rewards for completing it the first 3 times, but after that you get diminishing returns, which is okay, or less reward. The number of bonuses left is shared between stages. Later stages have higher difficulties, recommended level, but their per Ankyphilin reward gain is also higher. So I don't know what the other thresholds are. 2-12 is the first stage. I don't know what other stage chapters you have to complete to get the next stages, but that's the thing. Thread luxivation works the same, but you get the first stage unlocked after completing 2-19, and it essentially works the same as the experience luxivation. You get up to 3 times bonus rewards per day. And obviously higher difficulties require higher Ankyphilin, but that just means that you're just gonna get more out of your Ankyphilin, which is great. Then we have mirror dungeon reward changes. So instead of getting the bonuses 5 times per week, it's going down to 3. This just means that instead of having to log in, or instead of having to go through mirror dungeon 5 times a week, now you can go over it just 3 times per week, because obviously right now it is tedious because there's not much content. Once you beat mirror dungeon once, there really isn't much of a reason to do it again outside getting the rewards, so this just makes it easier, less of a chore, which is great. They're also making it so that each time you clear, or each one of these bonus clears will give you 250 lunacy, 20 pass exp, and it's going to be giving you 8 nominal 8 random Ego Shard crate or 5 nominal Ego card crate. So before it was, you get the option of 5 times 5 for the random, so it's 20, and it's 3 times 5, which is 15. So you either got 20 random in a week prior or 15 nominal. With these changes, since it's going down, it'll be 24 for random in a week, and it will be 15 for nominal. So in terms of nominal, that basically stays the same, because before you could only get 3 times 5, which is 15. So nominal, the rate for Ego Shard still stays the same, but for random Ego Shard crate, you actually get more more, because prior you got only 20, now you get 24 if that's the case per week. So obviously go random ego charge crate, it's just better value for now, just for now. There's no more experience, so you don't gain that in the mirror dungeon anymore, which is fine because that gets moved over to experience excavation, so hopefully it makes up with that over there. Changes to the past missions. Okay, this is an interesting change. So prior, it was clear any 3 stages, defeat 20 enemies, suppress 1 abnormality, log into the game, and have a random sinner in the battle once. They're changing it now to log into the game, clear EXP excavation once, clear thread excavation once, clear any 2 stages, and defeat 10 enemies. This is a good change because clear any 3 stages was kind of useless because number 1, once you've completed chapter 3, there was really no reason to go back and do any of the stages. So in order to not waste stamina, all you do is you just go into prologue and use 0 stamina and just go through the prologue, and that will clear it. So now instead of having to go through it 3 times, you now go through it 2 times instead of having to use a random sinner, which is good because some people don't have certain sinners that they want to use. Now it doesn't force you to have to use a sinner to claim one of it. Now it's just as easy as log into the game, do your EXP dungeon, do your thread dungeon, which will defeat 10 enemies in the process, and then all you have to do is just go into prologue twice, and that's your daily. Weekly, also a slightly better change. So now instead of having to clear any stage 20 times, defeating 120 enemies, suppress 3 armor rallies, enter the mirror dungeon 1 time, and 5 total daily logins, now they've changed it to clear EXP dungeon 5 times, clear thread dungeon 5 times, clear any stages 10 times, defeat 100 enemies, and enter the mirror dungeon 1 time. Which is really, really good because number 1, it no longer punishes people for not logging into the game. Now you just have to complete these steps and that will give you your weeklies. There's nothing better than a game that actually does not force you to log in every day just to claim some arbitrary milestone to be able to progress your battle pass. It's actually very nice. So all of these changes make it so that the game becomes even better for people who don't want to continue to play the game, and it doesn't really punish people that much for not playing the game every single day. You can just honestly hop in once a week and grind through everything and you'd still be fine. Obviously you miss out on the bonuses for your everyday thread dungeons and EXP dungeon, but even then you can still just get more. It's less efficient, but you're not really punished for it. The next thing that is major that we want to go over is the combat changes. The system changes, they made some adjustments to it. You can take a read on it after looking at it, but it doesn't really matter to me. Combat is the biggest thing. With damage boost per clash is adjusted to 3%. That just means that every time your unit clashes, and for each chain that it progresses, you gain a plus 3% damage, which is, something. Not a lot, but it's actually noticeable. Staggered enemies no longer gain action slots before others. So chat actually finally told me that. Basically what that means is, usually what happens is at the end of the turn, you'll gain a new skill slot so that your character or a character can use 2 skills instead of 1 skill that turn. But what ended up happening was sometimes when your unit gets staggered, they were the one who got the extra action, and it's pointless because they're staggered, they can't act, so that extra action became completely useless that turn. So this change makes it so that if you have a staggered ally on your team, they no longer gain the extra action slot that you would get at the end of the turn, which is a nice adjustment. However, they had to push back the changes for the defense skill changes and resonant boost, base boost, and stagger threshold changes until March 23rd, only because of how changing the mechanics work. Understandable, changing a mechanic like that is very big, and the coding behind it, I could only imagine how insane it is to overhaul something like that. So not a big deal. Obviously, if you had the defense mechanic like put in, it'd make chapter 3 boss easier, but for now, if you guys don't know how to do it, that just means get good, or just wait for this update to happen and then you can probably beat chapter 3. The UI, they added a seasonal display to the identity and ego info. So from what it sounds like right now, they are trying to make the UI a little bit better for people, because right now the UI is a bit clunky. Not the worst, manageable, a bit clunky. And they also have a few more updates down here. So they fixed the description issues concerning stagger thresholds for the Japanese version, lowering being displayed as SP. Basically, the biggest thing to look over is that we're going to get some compensation. We're going to be getting extraction ticket times 3. I don't know if this is just 3 single pulls or if this is 3 temples. I think it's 3 temples, which is pretty nutty. We are also going to be getting a whole list of bug changes, but the biggest one in here is that Paralyze is apparently fixed now. Paralyze works. So you guys can take a look over that. I'm not going to go over this one. And the last page is we're also going to be getting a 300 lunacy with the update. So pretty nice. Overall, Project Moon doing a great job. Really, really liking everything. I think it's overall really, really good. And someone over here actually asked, is it like a 10 ticket or just 1 pull? We're getting a total of 3 pulls. So we'll get a reply. Anyways, as usual, I stream on Twitch almost every day. Have a Discord. Might start a Patreon soon because monetization kind of sucks, especially if you have Millie music. But overall, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. If you guys are excited for the update, let me know what you're excited about the update for. I'm honestly looking forward to just more content, so I'm quite excited for this. Anyways, John Panio signing out as usual. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.